Hi, welcome to Partwork Live Podcasts. My guest today is obviously Horlicks. We've got Mark in the house as well down below. So our guest is Horlicks, and we're just gonna talk it out and see see where we go and that with that. So you can send your comments in, and we'll pick some out to ask as well. Mark's on that.
Yeah.
So Horlicks, how long have you been doing Partworks in general? So how long have you been what got you into it?
I would say about 7 years now. I reckon about 7 or 8 years. And I never really was into Partworks. I always saw them advertised on the telly and stuff, and my blind friend Dean, actually, he wanted the 3D printer, and at the time, I think you were discussing it on your show the other day. They were like really expensive back in the day, so to have one of Partwork was like, oh, this is like wow. So my friend Dean actually collected them all, but because he's blind, he never built it. He just wanted to collect them. And then it got to the stage at the end of the build where he had this like huge box full of parts. And he goes, do you want to build this for me? And I was like, I literally snatched it out of his hand. I said, absolutely. Like, that's because I've always loved building stuff, like Lego or I didn't have much growing up. I think money was tight and, so I never could do much of that. And maybe come out in adulthood, I reckon. Like, oh, I'm an adult, I can build stuff. So, that's where it sort of come from. But I built this 3D printer, and it was the I can't remember which one it was now. The
was it the Eagle Moss one?
Yeah, the Vector or whatever it was, the Vector 3.
It was white, I remember. I think it was white, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
the lid slid up and down on it.
Yeah.
So I built that. And it took me from start to finish, I would say 12 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I literally got it all out and I built the thing on the floor. Just hours I spent, about 12 hours. I think I started it sort of lunchtime and then went to bed about midnight, started it the next morning, and it was done by lunchtime. So, about 12 hours. And maybe a few hours more, but you know what I mean. Over a couple of days, and got it working. I can't remember what I printed. The first thing I printed was one of their test files, and I was like, "Oh my god, it works!" and that's what got me into it. And then I was like, I really enjoyed building that.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed building that. Like, it was amazing. It was right up my street. And then I was looking at getting myself a printer. I was like, oh, I want one of these now. I did actually get one. I bought one that was already built off eBay or somewhere like that. And it had problems. And because I'd freshly built the thing, was like, right, well, that's not right. That's not right. That's loose. That shouldn't be like that. And I stripped it down and rebuilt it again because it was all fresh. Anyway, that's where it started. And then I was like, oh. And then I saw the advertisement for the DeLorean.
Right.
Back then. So that's when that came out with Eagle Moss, like right at the beginning.
Yeah, that 2017 was that, or 16, around that sort of time.
Yeah, I think it was. So that actually, so maybe it's been a bit longer. That was the time I started Partworks.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and I wasn't sure how it was going to be because it's like because I love building, and I built this whole printer in like a day. I was thinking 4 issues a month. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to wait a month before more parts come, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be patient enough to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, it was okay, and I enjoyed the process and built my DeLorean. I don't have it anymore because I had to downsize space and stuff. But so yeah, that was one of my first builds for myself, and then my friends treated me, and she could see that I loved building this stuff, so she actually bought me the R2D2 subscription.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
She was paying for them for me, and they were being delivered to me. So then I built R2D2, and that was sort of alongside. And that's where it started, really.
Did you always know how to program? Because I know obviously you done the Bluetooth mod for the Routemaster. Was that self-taught, or did you already have a background? Did you know how to do that sort of stuff beforehand, or?
No, I had no idea. And that was someone's fault down there for giving me a challenge. Because, I don't know if you'll see it on this screen, but it all started, with that, was with the buttons.
The buttons up there, yeah.
And they still work. I've got them working with the Bluetooth and everything, but there's some silver buttons just on the front of the panel, and that was how it started with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to turn these lights on without, because you can't turn them on in that cab, especially the one in the corner.
Yeah, there's some at the top, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got really chubby fingers, especially with the driver in there as well, it would be impossible to near enough push all of them. Yeah.
So that's where that started, and then I was like, oh, buttons, and I thought, yeah, this is cool. And I wasn't really, I shared it on YouTube and did some videos on it, like, this is ideal if you and I think a few people, I can't remember their name, but there were some regular viewers, and they're like, oh, I'm doing this, and I think they did it, and then sort of I went over how I did it, and then Mark says, oh, you should do remote control one. So I was like, oh, so that was it, and that was planted in my brain, and I was like, it's got to be doable. How can I do that? And then I sort of did some research, and I came up with IR remote to start with, and I've still got the actual sensor in the base.
Oh, right, okay.
In the end, but that doesn't work. I disconnected that because, that was another thing. Like, it was a bit hit and miss. You'd literally have to be right on it, otherwise it wouldn't work. And I thought, no, that's no good. And then I started thinking, and I was like, we need something else. And then I spoke to Marvel Phoenix.
Yes.
He's done a lot of that side of stuff. And then I spent a few evenings with him, and he was sort of teaching me stuff that he knew. And then I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, you could do it like this. And that's how it happened, really. And then it was a lot of hours sat here blowing things up, literally just trying to get things to work. And then obviously I got the final product, and it works. So, I got a lot of help from Marvel Phoenix. With the app side of things, especially, but the other stuff, just hours and hours. And then there was a point I nearly gave up, actually, because it was so difficult. I'd never done anything like this before, and I was trying to design a circuit board to start with, and it just wasn't playing ball. I had some software I bought, and it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, because obviously it's anyone who knows about circuit boards, you build a circuit board and you have to run the traces, and you do it all yourself, and you can't. It's like a giant puzzle, because
there's no picture.
Yeah, it's like you put all your components on,
Yeah.
but then you have to connect them with the traces, but the traces can't cross because you'll get a short. So then you have to start looking at going behind the board,
Round things and
running traces so they miss each other, and it was really complex. And I was sat here just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't.
I got myself into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this like magic feature on this app that you push this button, F8 or whatever it is, and it's supposed to magically put all your traces in for you and know what you want it to do. And it just wasn't working, and then it just kept erroring, and this trace is too close to that one, and that one's crossing, and that's a short, and I was like, and then again I just kept at it, I guess. I was like, no, I want this to work, and then one day I sussed it,
clicked,
got it working, and then that's when I ordered. So I ordered some PCBs, and then I sat here and put my plan to action. It failed. Then I realised I made a stupid mistake, so I rectified that. Reordered another, because I was only buying the PCBs in 5s because I didn't want to buy. That was the minimum order. I didn't want to buy like loads of them and then find there was a fault with it.
Yeah.
So I fixed it. I ended up on version 3, and then bingo. It
sort of clicked,
and then it works, and I've managed to help other people with them. So
was that the same process then with the remote for the Terminator?
That was I couldn't get anything to work with that, but all we did with that, my brain thinks there's a problem, because with the Terminator remote, as you may know,
there's a power drain on it.
Yeah, the batteries kept dying, and I was like, initially I was like, can I turn this into an app instead? Because I've got the base of the app, I can jig around the images and stuff and call the buttons something different, and I spent hours here trying to communicate with the Terminator, and I just couldn't decode. We couldn't work out what frequency this remote was sending out. I had all sorts set up. It literally like a science lab. There was just wires everywhere, and we couldn't communicate with the remote, so I didn't know what signal the remote was actually sending out to sort of tell the app to send that signal. So ended up simple, and then I was like, right, let's just add a switch, and then it'll just connect to the batteries, and then it kills it, and then it won't drain your battery. So that's sort of, but I didn't really go very far with that one. I did my own, and then obviously I did Mark's because he asked me to do his, and that was as far as that went. Yeah. So
that was a really time-saving one, because I remember when that sort of happened, and I was like, the one thing that remote had was this huge power drain on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was just because of the cell battery, because it wasn't a cell battery. It uses AAAs, two AAAs, and I don't know why it was using them. It should have really run off a cell battery, but also the remote lit up.
Yes.
So I'm wondering whether that was partly down to the power drain as well, because there was no need for it to light up like it did.
No, and then obviously when you turn the remote off, that went off, didn't it? But I think it was sort of on a standby mode, and it must have. Well, I don't know. It was obviously a design flaw. Yeah,
it's a lot of these remotes are like that. That they die really quickly, and it's because I was talking to actually Todd, Marvel Phoenix, and he said a lot of these remotes are basically always on standby.
Yeah,
they're always waiting for you to push a button, so that's why they drain quite quickly. But it's great that you came up with that solution. So, and obviously, So how did you and Mark and the gang and all that all start up? Because I remember back in the day when you all started doing your streams together. How did all that come together? How did all that sort of? Because obviously you started building the Partworks up, but how did you all come together like you did and go, oh, we'll start doing a show together?
Do you know what? It's such a blur. I can't actually really remember. I know because I started YouTube about the time I did, literally shortly after going back again, sorry, to the 3D printer I built.
Yeah.
I found some flaws because I've got like a technical brain, and I was like, why have they done it like that? Why is it? And then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, well, that's the problem, and that's the problem. And there was a major issue with the printer beds that had a load of wobble to it, and the prints weren't coming out very good. And I found a sort of a fix for it. So I thought I need to tell the world about this because other people that have bought this model might need to know.
Yeah.
How can I do that? Oh, I know. I'll do a video on YouTube. So that's where my YouTube started because I never really used to. I used to watch YouTube, of course, but never thought of doing any content. So I did a couple of videos, and they're awful. They're still on there, and it just makes me cringe every time I watch them. Like it does. Your first video.
Your first couple of videos are like, oh no. Yeah, I remember doing mine, and yeah,
it's a nightmare. But
I don't even think I had a holder when I did my. I think I was holding the phone like this. So I'm trying to do stuff and hold the phone at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, what am I doing?
Yeah, no, I had a camera, but it was a really old Logitech one, and it wasn't that great. But anyway, so that's why I started YouTube, and then I started building this DeLorean and the R2, and I think I got to issue 7. And then I was like, why don't I do these on YouTube? Because at the time, not many people were doing stuff like that.
No.
So I thought, I'm going to document it. So my first video for the R2 and DeLorean was, if I remember rightly, issues 1 to 7 recap or something, because I'd already built them.
Yeah.
I went on, did a video, issues 1 to 7, just talked about what I'd done. And then from there on, I started doing build videos on it. And that's where it started. And then, of course, I had a few people come in like at the beginning. So, there was, the likes of Paint with Penny at the time. And there was, I don't know, all sorts of people. I can't even remember everyone. They're not all with us anymore.
No.
But... And then we got chatting in the thing, and then I don't know whether it was someone wanted to reach out to me to help me with something, and anyway, I ended up having a call with them, and then I think then Paint with Penny used to come in all the time. Then I used to watch her channel because she was doing similar things in the bus. Then I was like, I could do, and then when the bus came about, I was like, I wasn't intending to do the bus at all. I was late to the party on that one. I think we got up to issue 20 odd, and I was like, no, the more I'm watching this, the more I want to build that bus. So I ended up subscribing to the bus quite late, and then I had to go to the online shop and buy the issues up to
that you were missing.
That I was missing.
Yeah.
And then obviously I started doing that, and then I went live with Penny. We did like a show together because we were doing the same thing. We were doing the bus, and then that's where it started, where I'd help her with the instructions. So she'd be building, and I'd be reading the instructions for her. And then it sort of came about like that. And then I think like Mark and Dave Say, because he's really into his buses, he caught the stream, and then we all got chatting in the chat. And then I think, I really can't remember how it happened, but one day I think we just ended up having a group call about something, or just like a natter.
Yeah.
And then it sort of built from there, I think.
It was actually Fleetwood J at the time when we went into COVID, we all started doing Zoom calls with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And it kind of went from there.
It was just such a blur, though, because it was years ago. But it just, it was basically like that. Then we just ended up having a chat, and then we got closer, and then we thought, oh, let's just have a chat and all meet each other, and it just sort of the group got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we lost some members from the group, and then we sort of just left the foundation that was left, really.
Yeah, and I suppose that's what's left us with. I mean, what would you say is your best build so far that you've done? That you've come in quite late, and like you're saying, you started off with the 3D printer and stuff like that. I mean, do you have a favourite one or one where you go, oh, that was better? What was that?
My favourite is that bus.
Yeah. The bus.
100%. Yeah.
Is that because you've done a lot of the mods on it as well, and you spent a lot of time working on it? And
I think so. That's probably partly the reason. But no, it was a I mean, a lot of people hated the build because of the amount of screws that were involved.
The rivets. That's the only thing I had with that was the amount of rivets on the outside of the skin that you had to put on.
Yeah,
those tiny red screws.
But I actually really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Like,
some people like doing that because it's like therapeutic.
Yeah.
So some people like doing that, but there was a lot of red screws. I remember there was loads of them.
Lots of red screws.
Yeah, no, and it's great because it sort of simulates the rivets that are actually on the bus.
Yeah.
So it was good in a way, but there was lots of them.
Yeah, and it was a nightmare if a panel didn't line up. I mean, I had a couple. I was like, oh, how am I going to get around this? And but I got there in the end. And do you know what? Yeah, I think that was my favourite. It's definitely my best build. And I think, because of the time spent on it as well and I really enjoyed the challenge of trying to get it, working on a remote for sure. Because, a lot of people want to put it in Perspex cases and things. You can't turn the lights on ever. So
that was a big thing with a lot of the builds. They sort of sell these cases, and then you're like, in order to turn the lights on, the old ones, you used to have to take everything off to turn the lights on and off.
Yeah.
Obviously now everything is remote. So I sort of built round that.
But then obviously, I had more challenges with that because, after I got the actual Bluetooth kit working, I mean, the feeling I got when it worked was just it's like, oh my God, I've done this, like with help, obviously, but oh my God, this is a thing. It works. I almost got emotional about it, and I was like, it works. Like, what's going on? And that was a great moment. Like that night, I remember it when it worked, and I was like, I literally, I can't remember if I was on stream with anyone or I think I might have been on my own, and I literally just yelled. I was like, yes, and like, it was so exciting. Like, I was like, oh, this is good. And then more things started thinking, because I was like, I don't want to ruin the bus in the respect of, I want it to still function as it does, because people like that. So I want the bells to work on the platform still, so you can manually. And then that was another whole challenge.
Yeah.
I was like,
getting the buttons still to work, but still through the Bluetooth.
How can I do that? And then I was like, oh, well, it's good for me. And then obviously, like Mom said, you need to get it out there, like around, people need this. And a lot of people come into me saying, oh, I need this. Can you make me one? And I'm like, honestly, probably not, because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. For
the end user.
Yeah. Mass produce it.
Yeah, it's all very well soldering wires here, there, and everywhere, but no average builder who maybe doesn't know about electronics is not going to want to be messing around soldering wires to things and stripping wires. And I was like, no, this isn't going to work. Like, it needs to be almost plug and play, otherwise it's not going to work. And then I had to, this was up and running months before I offered it to people. Yeah. And then it just I got the idea, and I was like, I can do it like this. And then obviously it helped with like Ian at the time at Partwork Upgrades. He brought out the power mod for it,
Yes.
So I was thinking, oh, that's good. Like, I can work around that, and how can I implement that with and it was sort of thanks to Ian and that mod that made me realise actually I could do it like this. That would work, but you need to get his mod, which is still the case. To be fair, I've discontinued them now because I think everyone who's wanting them has got them.
Yeah, I think IXO still sell the bus, but I think most people have got it now.
Yeah, and I've not. I did have a lot of orders for the kit back when it was new. Now it's really slowed off, and I've got I had 2 units left, and one's gone now. I have literally one left, which is that white box there, and then that's it. But also I'm going off pace now, but
that's fine.
I think because of that and the challenges that it had,
it's your best one.
By far my favourite one. Because of the results I got from it, and not only the results of building the bus, but getting everything else to work, and getting
sort of what it led to as well, sort of with everyone else coming together. And your relationship with Ian as well. So I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think if it wasn't for Mark putting that in my head, it probably wouldn't have been a thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of thanks to Mark.
There you go, Mark.
Did it. But Mark does that, though, doesn't he? He pops up and goes, well, why don't you just do that? And it's like, oh, really? But that is one of my favourites, and that won't go anywhere. So,
has there been any builds you've done where you've gone, I'm glad that's finished, I won't be touching one of them again? Have you had a build like that?
Yeah, probably the Spitfire.
The Spitfire. I was going to say, was it the Spitfire? Did you ever get it to work? Did you ever get it to work?
Yes.
You did in the end.
It was working. I've sold it now because I was sick of the sight of it. But I had that moment twice because, as Mark knows, I got to the end of the build on that live stream. It all started working. I was really happy. I was like, everything works. Maybe I jinxed it. And it wasn't until after the stream I was playing with it. Like, not physically. I was hitting. Yeah. We finished the stream. We'd all wound down. I think we'd all gone. And I was like, oh, it's done. Oh, that's amazing. And I was sat here playing with the remote, and it was all good. And then I put it where it was going and went about. And then I was in bed, and I was like, no, I still want to play with that. So I turned it back on, pushed the buttons, did the flight. And then that's when the lifters decided to fail, and the whole thing fell on its belly and smashed the thing up. So, because obviously the propeller was going round at the time. Yeah. So once that snapped off, and it was just catastrophic. And I was like,
that's it, I've had enough.
And I didn't want, but the thing is, once something like that happens, I can't shut off. I don't know about, some people have it. I don't know whether it's a thing, but if something's not working, I can't shut
just
off.
Leave it.
It is working. So I ended up getting it back down. I think this was like 11 o'clock at night at this point, taking it all apart. And I was like, how am I going to change those blades on the propeller? Because that was issue 1, too.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of work that went in
to getting it on there.
Get to that bit, and then you had to glue a load of panels on, and I was like,
"Yeah,
done for." And I rang the company at the time, and I was like,
"Oh shit, yeah.
This is what's happened." Oh yeah, it's fine. We're really sorry about that. We'll replace any issues that you need replacing. I said, well, it's going to be a hell of a lot. I said, because most of the panels are glued on now. I'm going to have to rip them all off. Then I'm going to have to, take other bits off. And then I have to take the wings back off. And I literally had to deconstruct the whole thing and put it just to get... And it was never right after that. It was perfect.
I was going to say, they ever fixed the problem? Because I know they came out with a solution and other parts, but I don't think anyone actually got it working.
They didn't work because I got them. I ended up with about 3 or 4 issue hundreds because of the replacement wire, because they replaced the cable for the wheels. They all snapped, every single one of them. I trialed it. Every single one snapped, and I said, it's just not strong enough. I said, those motors are too strong for that because it would pull them up, but then the motor would still want to pull it, and then it ping, and then it just break the crimp off.
Yeah.
So I made my own in the end. I went to Hobbycraft and bought some different stuff, and I ended up using. I don't know if did you build the Spitfire yourself?
I didn't know.
No, I might remember. There's all these little clamps that you put behind the bodywork to hold something in. Anyway, I ended up using those, and I thought, so I ran the cable, but made the cable a little bit longer, so that the motor would take up the slack and not pull it so tight, and that fixed it. So, and that was still on it to this day.
Yeah,
and that was a perfect fix. And then obviously there was some other things that went wrong with it, and just generally it was a nice build, but then you got the panels that didn't line up, so that was a lot of jigging about. But my model, I classed myself was perfect, because I don't like things being wrong or out of place or skew if. But after having taken it all apart to fix the, everything that went wrong with it, it never worked the same again. When it worked, everything worked as it should have done, but it wasn't right. Like the engine was loose at this point, so the engine just pull out because
just because of how many times you took it apart. And
I had to take it apart to get to the propeller, and to do that, I had to break all the glue and some of the part. So. But it was sold as seen. Like, I showed him everything that was wrong with it, the buyer. I said, but electronically it works. And I gave him a test flight and showed him, and he was over the moon with it. He goes, no, that's brilliant. He goes, it's nice to have, because I think the buyer actually built one himself, I think.
Right.
But his didn't work. Nothing worked. So
Did you ever get yours working, Mark?
It worked for a while, but I haven't tested it in a long time.
It's one of those ones you're never going to dare test again.
No, probably not.
Yeah, because Mark was lucky, because you've still got the original cable in, haven't you, for your wheels?
Mm.
I mean, one of my replacement cables did last about 30 flights.
Yeah,
and then you hear that. The sounds, you can hear that sound. That's the dreaded sounds, and it's like
a bit clicking.
No, that's gone, and then the next minute the wheels go.
And that's it.
No, but I bought some cable wire from, I think it was jewelry wire or something. It was really strong and it was PVC coated.
Yeah,
that worked. It did the job, and never had any problems with it.
So that little bit there. If only they'd done that beforehand.
Yeah,
everything else.
But the main problem that I can't remember now exactly how it worked. I haven't got any of the documents, but the lifter failed, and that upset me more, because if it wasn't for that, the whole thing wouldn't have smashed up. And when I was looking into the lifter and why that gave way, it was a bad design because of the weight of the plane.
Was too heavy.
It was too heavy, and the way the lifters worked and where those little perspex rods went in, I can't quite remember what the issue was, but I remember you checked yours, Mark, didn't you? And yours were hanging out, whatever it was. I can't remember. I think that something was the wrong way up, so that when you have pressure on it, it was going to pop it out.
Right.
It was like, so I put this massive document together for the company. So, right, I found this. This is a problem. Everyone's Spitfires are going to fail one day because of this. And I gave them blown up diagrams of their, all their parts, what the problem was. And all I got was a a massive document I sent them because I wanted to help. I didn't want anything for it. I was just saying, look, you really need to look at this because this is why my
this is what's going to happen again.
Is in the state it is because this is a poor design. You really need to implement some sort of fix for this.
Yeah.
And they just gave me literally a 2-line email about saying our engineers have looked at this, can't see anything wrong. I was like, well, they're not engineers then because I clearly said what was wrong.
Yeah.
And showed them what was wrong. And if you can't process that, then there's nothing else I can do.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because it was right near the end of the build. It almost seems like the same problem we had with the tumbler. Because people did get it to work, but most people who did get it to work, it then failed after a few goes.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's always going to happen because, like you were saying, I think the motor wasn't too strong, but it just kept trying to pull it down. The canopy, when it goes back, it obviously goes up and down. But as it goes down, you can hear the motor trying to pull it further than it should.
Yeah.
Because of the sensors in it didn't work. They were poorly designed and they weren't soldered properly. But with all the wires as well still in that clump, there's no tidy up there. So they're going to get caught and pulled. Every time you do that, it's going to get caught in some way. So I don't think it was ever designed to work all the time or be played with. One or twice, that's about it. Once a year.
Such a shame, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. I think that was like the Spitfire, it'd probably be all right now and again, but if you were to use it like it's intended for a long period, things are going to fail. And actually mine did fail, and I had to tell the seller because when I got it down and de-dusted it but just made sure it was all up and running, and it did, surprisingly. I turned it on and everything worked. It was the rear flaps. they go through like this cable. Something was going wrong with that motor, and it was pulling one down too tight, and it got stuck. And this one was working, so I had to take it all apart, pull the square cable out, straighten it up, put it back in. It would work for a couple of goes, and then all of a sudden this one would start getting tighter than it should, and then it was getting stuck, and I just said that they're not quite right. But they were working.
Yeah.
So something had happened in the time that I put it up to bed and brought it back down.
But it's gone now.
So. Oh yeah, that's gone. So that was in answer to your question, that was one of the things. I mean, I think all Partworks do have a, because they must produce.
Yeah, I've always said this. I always think that the electrics in these Partworks have a shelf life. I've always said this. They're not designed to work forever.
No.
I don't know whether it's just because they use cheap material. I don't know, but I've not had a single Partwork where the electrics haven't failed over time.
Yeah.
Every single one of my Partworks that I've had, where the lights have worked first time all the time, and then it sort of something failed on it.
I think it's more. I think LEDs you're pretty safe with, aren't you? Like, I mean, yeah, they they have a life as well, but normally thousands and thousands of hours. But I think it's anything to do with moving parts or motors is the worst part, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I mean, look at the bus. I mean, that's been absolutely fantastic, but there's no moving parts on it. It just lights up and it works every time. But I think when I did Ian's Ferrari, and look at the door. I mean, the
gull wing doors.
They were perfect, and then one decided to start playing up, and you could hear the motor sort of skipping gears, and it worked, but it was just not. I think anything to do with moving parts or motors, it's a bad idea. Although it's cool, like and I enjoy stuff like that. I love electronics, so I think we might have a slight difference in opinion because I think. I've seen you on your shows. You think sometimes electronic wise less is more.
Yeah,
and I guess that's your opinion. because I like electronics and stuff, I want them to cram them all in, like cram those in, because I enjoy that. But it's not for everyone, and I guess it is more to go wrong.
Well, it's not that sort of fact. It's fact that everything individually is coming off, because we had that problem with the Skyline. So the dash, behind the dash, I think there's like 5, 6 or 7. I think there is separate LED lights, and then you've got all the cables. And I think the problem was, I thought, well, why didn't you just put that on a ribbon as a single piece? Because what you're doing is you're creating more problems, and then you're creating all this like spaghettiness with all the wires, and more can go wrong. Yet if it's on a ribbon, it's on a single piece.
Yeah.
So I kind of, with the electrics, I like it when it's got loads, but it needs to be simplified. And I think the problem with these Partworks is they overcomplicate stuff when it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of look and you kind of go, well, that could have been simplified. Yet they've made it so complicated.
Yeah.
Getting on to, obviously, you touched on it with where Ian come along and he helped you with the power mod and stuff for the bus. So how did it come about you taking on some of the stuff for Partwork upgrades?
So it was meant. I know he was gonna like give it up a bit because obviously his personal reasons and stuff. And, he mentioned it because I was helping him. So because he had a lot of orders and stuff. I was printing. I was helping him fulfill his orders, so I'd do some printing for him, and then I would ship parts to him to help him fulfill his orders. And because I got used to doing it and knew a bit about it, he said, "Oh, you should take it on." And I said to him, "I'm not sure I can." I said, "I've got a full-time job anyway," and I said, "It's just a bit." It's a lot to do and take too much to do, and then sort of that all happened, and he shut it, and that was fine. But he had a little holiday with you, and they come down to Eastbourne because they like it down there anyway.
Yeah,
and it's an excuse for them to meet up with me, and we go and we have a few drinks and that, and we have a laugh. And it was actually last time they come down, which was in August. And we went to see Queen tribute act at the down at the bandstand.
Yeah.
Good night we all had. And I wonder what happened then. Yeah. And we were just having a chat and a laugh about it all. And I said, "Oh, do you know what?" I said, "It'd be good to do some of your mods," because I noticed that some people were asking for some of the stuff that he was already doing.
Yes.
And I said, "Well, I don't mind doing it, but I just haven't got the time." I mean, Ian did a great job, of what he did. And it was like, can I actually match that? And I'm like, do you know what? I can't, but if people want old mods that Ian had already done, there's nothing wrong with me printing them because I've got all the files because I was printing them for him. I'll print them and ship them. And then that's sort of where it came from. And he went, "Okay." He goes, "Well, you could do this, and you could do the Lank Crew," because I printed thousands of printed Lank Crew. Painstakingly, with a craft knife, trying to get all the supports off.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do all that. So if people still want stuff, put it back on. I'll do it, and that's why we sort of called it the print and ship, because I'm not getting involved in all the painting and all the details. I mean, I can do little things, like the Bat Radio and stuff I've been doing. That's now live, and doing the little miniature blueprint for it and stuff. And then I'm sticking them on bits of cards and stuff. So I like that sort of thing. But when it comes to actually painting them, I'm not the best painter.
Yeah.
I'd rather the modeler do that, because that's probably, well, maybe not everyone can do that, but I'm just offering an apprenticeship. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'll do some old mods, as the stuff that can just come off the printer, go in a bag, and that's sort of how it came about. And I've added a few things. There are a few exceptions on there that are more involved, but it's not all like that. So, and that's how it sort of come about. So then he said, I'll tell you what, he says I can share his, because he's already got his website for his power mod. I can share half of his website, and so that's how it works. And eventually, I should have my own website. So we're not like sharing it.
Yeah.
I have a separate one. He's just offering it just to get me started. So eventually, I'll make it over to my own website. But yeah, that's how that came about, really. Just offering some of the great mods he did, really. That.
Yeah, there is a link if anyone wants to know. If anyone wants to scan the QR code there, it will take you straight over to the web shop there. But how is it going so far? Going good? You getting lots of orders in, or is it slow, or what there?
At the moment, it's not. No, it's a little bit slow at the minute. But then a lot of the mods that are on there are like ones that have previously been out. So I think a lot of people that wanted that stuff has maybe already got it.
Right.
I've had a few orders, and obviously I've sold my Bluetooth mod of another one that's gone.
It's good to give people those options, really, isn't it? So they've still got that option if they need it.
Because some of the builds, people might be late to the builds.
Yes.
Like some people store the builds up, and then they might have busy things going on. Or, they might be busy, and then think, "Oh, I'm going to build that now," and then it might be something they might want later on. So it's good to have them on there. I mean, there's nothing, no harm in them being on there. But obviously there is some new products coming in the next few days as well. So yeah, there'll be some more up to date stuff. So yeah.
Who's helping you with that? Is that Ian's side? Is he helping you do the design process on that?
He's still helping me a little bit with the design and stuff. He's just not getting involved in all the whole printing and the mess and the shipping and everything like that. So
he's downsizing, so he needs to. Yeah,
he enjoys all that, and I'm sure you know what I'm saying. But yeah, he loves that sort of stuff. So he is helping me. We're helping each other. I'm giving him some ideas, and he's got some ideas. But yeah, we've got some Batman stuff coming. I've got some Batman stuff coming out. So yeah.
Is that for the 89?
There's one thing for that, but it's for the other one. The
66.
66, yeah. Most of it is for the 66 at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite exciting. So I've got a few 4 or 5 mods props coming out. So big nice things to display with the model.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll be in the next few days. Some of them are harder than others, and I'm still working on like this end, and I'm actually waiting for some bits to come through. So until they come, which I should be later on this week, I can do a mock-up of one of them. See how it's going to turn out. So, but other things are going to be coming out very soon. So yeah, keep an eye on the website for that.
Yeah,
but I'll probably post it in my Facebook group anyway.
Yeah. Is there any questions coming in, Mark?
Just the one from John Dave that just says, Alex, can you do Batman and Robin figures?
Probably, yeah. The thing is, I'm still like learning, with regards of what I can and can't do, and obviously you've got to think of the bigger picture as well, like copyright, things like that. So, it's something I can think. Oh God, it's something I can think about and look into. But yeah, if that's something that people think they might like.
Yeah, brilliant.
Over their builds.
I want to get to know more about you, really. So, is there anything that we don't know about you that's interesting? Like sort of, I've met people before where they've said they've never seen any Star Wars movies, or they've never seen Back to the Future, all that sort of stuff. Is there anything that you've not seen that everyone's sort of gone, oh yeah, you've got to see this movie, and you've never seen it?
No, the only thing is probably Star Wars, because I never watched it, and
yeah,
I knew of it. And I knew some of the characters, and I don't know how, probably just through everyday
culture stuff.
Other people talking about it, and I knew R2-D2 because I built him. But to be honest, I didn't know much about him and that projector, and I didn't understand the scene that it was playing because I'd never seen the film. And it wasn't until very recently, wasn't it, Mark? I was talking about it, and you gave me. Look, I was trying to work out what order to watch them, because then I learned that.
Yeah.
You can watch it in order of them released, but that's not actually the order of the film.
No, right.
I've got it written down still somewhere, the order of how to watch them, and I did start watching them. Actually, I have not finished them,
right?
But I've watched probably have to watch them again because it's gone over my head now. But I watched the first three in the order that Mark gave me them, and I really enjoyed them. Surprisingly, because I'm not really a sci-fi person,
right?
So, but I was surprisingly hooked, and I was like, "This is really good." And I was just, I binged like 2 of them, I think, and then I watched a third one, and then life got busy, and I never got round to watching any more. But I did not finish them, so that's probably.
What sort of TV shows do you watch?
Oh, I'm old. So I've got, these are all DVD sets that I own.
Yeah.
Keeping Up Appearances.
Brilliant. Yes.
I absolutely love them. I've got them
Mrs. Bucket. Yeah.
Bucket. One Foot in the Grave. Love that.
Brilliant. Victor Meldrew.
2.4 Children.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. That is. Yeah.
And I'm actually currently watching them as we now. Now the thing is with that is, I wanted them on DVD, and they only actually, BBC or whoever, Frontal Media or whoever did the DVDs, only released series 1 to 3 on DVD, so you couldn't watch any of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I found I paid far too much, but I wanted the whole collection, so I actually found a seller on eBay,
right,
who was selling
the whole thing.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, right, okay.
Made from recordings of Sky.
Right.
So I was like, and I paid like 80 quid for them.
Oh, wow.
For burnt DVD.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want them though. Like, I have to have them in my life, so I bought them.
I kind of like the old stuff because I get it, because I loved watching that sort of stuff. But also because I find that they sort of get rid of some of the episodes.
Yeah.
So I've got like Father Ted and Black Book, and I've also got the IT Crowd. And there's some episodes they don't show on TV anymore, and it's great that I've still got that old media to sort of watch it on.
Yeah.
But the one, I'm a bit like you. I love collecting DVDs. As Mark knows, I love the DVD series. One of the ones that I've just finished completing is the British Empire.
Yeah.
And they did all the seasons, but trying to find them is really difficult. And I managed to find the last 2 seasons for that. So I've got all that. There's all this stuff that they don't play on TV, and we all remember watching when we were kids.
I cycle through them all, like, so I'll do that, and I'll get hooked to one, and I'll watch the whole lot. And like as I was saying about the 2.4, like, obviously I ended up buying all the episodes on.
Yeah.
But I went a step further, and I wanted to make cases that didn't exist. So
brilliant!
I made my own cases.
That's really good.
Write up of all the. I had to use Wiki and that, and and then I ended up doing my own DVD cases for them. just because I, wanted to. So
yeah,
I've got the whole lot. I'm probably one of the only, apart from the guy that was, unless other people got them, I'm probably one of the only people that have actually got them all on DVD. So yeah,
it's worth keeping all that old media stuff because, like you're saying, they don't play a lot of the stuff on the TV, like the British Empire. It's not on any TV. You can't even. I don't even think you can stream it.
No,
you're getting that sort of stuff. There's a lot of BBC shows actually that they've never they released on DVD, but they've never shown it ever again.
Yeah.
So there's 2 shows like that. So I don't know if you remember it. There was a show called Mongrels. It was like a puppet show with dogs. It was on BBC 3. But it's not on the iPlayer anymore. It's nowhere, but you can get the DVDs, but they're really hard to get hold of. And another one that they did was an adult animated series called Stressed Eric. Was another BBC show that they did. And you just can't see it anywhere. It's but then it's really weird how they do the DVDs, I find, as well. So I've got a series called The Strain. It's about vampires. And they brought out there's 3 seasons of it. So they brought out season 1 on DVD. And then they brought the whole series out on DVD. So I had season 1, but you can't buy season 2 and 3 separate. You can buy season 1 separate and the whole series, but that's it. So I had to it's really weird how they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but what's next for yourself in terms of Partwork? Are you going to be doing any more builds going forward? Is there anything out there that you've gone, I want to do that?
By watching like some of your your videos and that, Kirsty, and that, I fancy doing the Nissan actually.
Yeah.
But I went on there the other day, and I think I mentioned it, and I was like, it's too expensive. I can't.
Yeah.
We used to do 4 issues a month or whatever.
Yeah, we've
like 40 quid or just over. Now you're looking at 60, 70 pound a month on it, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. So
yeah.
I was thinking about doing it. Don't know where I'd put it. And I would have loved to have done the Titanic. I really would have done, but there's nowhere in here for that to go. So I didn't do that either.
It's sort of a bummer when you sort of like, where can I put this and you're kind of looking around and you're kind of going, this is too big to put anywhere. And
I've
got to find a space.
Like the DeLorean, the R2 had to go, and it's a shame. But for me, I love building the stuff more than the end result.
More than the end result. You like the actual build process.
Yes,
that's
my thing. So apart from the bus, which is a bit different, I love that being up there. So, but yeah, mainly. Did you ever Did you ever think about doing the Lancaster and the Spitfire put you off, or was you like, I'm done with planes? Yeah, I did. I did think that it would have been cool to build again. I like the build process, but I thought, this is going to be too similar, and
Spitfire put you off for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm probably not the only one either that probably went down that. But like you're doing it at the moment, Mark, how is it? Does it compare to the Spitfire, or not really? Like build wise.
Build wise, yes.
Yeah.
Like the frame and stuff, but it's not as much at the moment in the Lancaster that was in the Spitfire.
Oh, that's good. So maybe it'll be alright.
Similar. They have had problems with it already, haven't they? We've touched on it on the show a few times.
Yeah.
With the engines and stuff, and it's the sort of a curse, really, isn't it? The military planes at the moment, it's a sort of a curse. But anyway, I think we'll bring it to an end there. Obviously, thank you, Horlicks, for joining us and talking and giving an insight on what it's like and what you've been doing and how you got here and everything else.
Thanks for inviting me on. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I think we'll just wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you check out Horlicks' channel as well as Partwork upgrades as well on what Horlicks is doing, and give him a support as well. But it's all from us. But yeah, thank you, Horlicks, for coming. Thank you, Mark, as well, for all the technical stuff behind the thing. And obviously, we will catch you next time. But until then, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you all later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.